used to rob everyone. He was being chased by a crazy kid named Curtis. Apparently, Doug stole Curtis's yo-yo, and Curtis wanted it back. He wasn't going to stop at nothing. Doug had already been shot and was bleeding badly. He knew the only way he was going to get away was if he killed Curtis, so he unloaded the clip. But Doug missed every single shot. Doug knew he didn't have much longer. As Curtis reloaded his gun, he was screaming out at Doug, "Just tell me where the yo-yo is." As Doug sat there bleeding, he looked over and saw a box of good guy shoes. With his last energy, he crawled over to the shoes. Then, as he sat there holding the shoes, he died. When Curtis came around the corner to make Doug tell him where the yo-yo was, it was too late. Doug was dead. Curtis would never get his yo-yo back, and now Doug's soul possesses this very pair of shoes. The end. I thought to myself, this has to be a joke. There's no way these shoes could be possessed. So I crumbled up that stupid note and threw it on the ground. Then I busted those shoes out, hugged them, rocked them, gave them a kiss, and slipped them on my feet. And that's when it happened. Good guy shoes done took over control of me. I tried to fight it off, but these shoes got a hold of me. I stood up, grabbed my Nerf pistol off the shelf, then headed out the front door to wreck somebody's health. I walked over to James, he was chilling with his dame. I roughed him up a little bit and jacked him for his chain. Pulled out my Nerf gun so he didn't do a thing. Then I winked at him and told him, "You ain't never out of range. When a drama starts, Nerf gun goes bang, 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 bang. Nerf gonna leave you slain. When I go inside, Nerf bullets start to rain. So what you want, mine? Your life or your chain?" I walked off with the shade in my hand, left James looking scared with poop stains in his pants. I swing back, bro, I don't know what's going on. Then I turned around and grinned like an evil leprechaun. Hearts, stars, and horseshoes, clovers and blue moons. You become a bad guy when you wear the good guy shoes. You put them on your feet, and then you won't know what to do when you wear them good guy shoes. I tried to take the shoes off, but they wouldn't budge. For a second I would be myself, but then I would be Doug, staring people down, wearing a mean mug, walking through the streets like a red-headed thug. Then who could it be but that big fool, Big Blue? I told him, "Give me on the couch and the kicks too. Cooperate, this is the only chance I'll give you. And if you call the cops, I know exactly where you live, dude." I walked away screaming, "Bro, that wasn't me, that was Doug. Please help me get these shoes off of my feet." But Big Blue was scared senseless. I left that fool defenseless. I was living on the bridges coming off the hinges. Now I have beef with Big Blue and James too. Thinking to myself, I didn't ever want them dang shoes. I wanted them bad, thought they would make me cool. But now my hair is red and I'm acting like a fool. Hearts, stars, and horseshoes, clovers and blue moons. You become a bad guy when you wear the good guy shoes. You put them on your feet, and then you won't know what to do when you wear them good guy shoes. So there I was, walking through the streets in them stupid good guy shoes, possessed by the evil spirit of Doug, the Irish thug. Then I came across the only person in the streets who could bring all this to an end, Giant Jimmy. Then I came across that old fool Giant Jimmy. I approached him and I told him, "Son, you best not get lippy. Anything you got, well, son, you best give me. And let's make it quick, I ain't trying to get friendly." Then he pulled a switchblade and began to stick me. Then he pulled it back out and he put it back in me. I was losing lots of blood, I was getting dizzy. He must have stabbed me 40 times, maybe even 50. I looked down and the knife was sticking out my chest, but it wasn't over yet. Now you gotta hear the rest. He took a step back, put up both his dukes, threw a mean uppercut, knocked me on my shoes. I returned to normal since the shoes were off my feet, and Jimmy turned around and just went walking down the street. I swallowed so much blood, I was feeling sick. Now I had to go home and throw away them evil kicks. Hearts, stars, and horseshoes, clovers and blue moons. KWH in the morning, I'm your host, Marvin Hart. Today's topic, fun trip. Where's this stuff coming from? How are they making it? All the kids are using it. It's blue, tastes like candy. If you haven't heard of it, you must be living under a rock. Alright. Right now we're gonna do a short game. Now, as you might have heard, both Burnham is performing here tonight in New York City at the Palladium. Tickets are sold out. I don't know how, but they are. I think Bo might have bought all his own tickets. Maybe, no, I'm just playing, Bo. We love you here at KWH. Anyway, so the game we are playing, it's called How Did They Make It? Now, you're going to call in and you got 30 seconds to tell us what is the fun trip made of. Basically, tell a story. Be creative and say, this is how it's made. Our number is 537-6367. We're taking callers now. Hello, this is KWH. You're caller number 1. How did they make it? Loser. Okay, people. When you call in here, have your story ready. We don't have time for people to call in going, Okay, next caller. Hello, this is KWH. You're caller number 2. How did they make it? From cornweb and fruity pebbles. That's it? That's how they make it? Yeah. Loser. On to the next caller. Hello, this is KWH. You're caller number 3. How did they make it? I think fast. They find a child, right? Okay. And they steal, right? Okay, so they steal a kid. Yeah, and then they take him, and they put him in a blue barrel. And I don't, and they don't evolve tears onto him. A bottle of tears, like crying tears? Yeah, like crying tears. Okay, this is creepy. So they pour the tears all over them, right? And they put a lid on the barrel. And then they flip the switch on the mouth. And then they melt the kid. Now we are getting somewhere. I like this guy. Yeah, so they melt the child down to the blue liquid. Then they pour them into a cup. And they cook them. They cook them until all the water is gone. And all that's left is blue power. Blue, sweet, blue power. And now is how they make the fun drink. Congratulations, decided to stay home this year. After the lightsaber battle with Michael Myers, we decided that it was best not to go out. So we just rented some scary movies and some video games. I was smoking Mike in hang time, over and over. He got really mad, so we started fighting. Big mistake. I put him in the sleeper hold again. He was out cold in under 10 seconds. Will he ever learn? When he woke up, we decided to just play Madden. We had to stay up all night because this guy named Freddy Krueger has been haunting our dreams. You never heard of Freddy Krueger? We are about to learn all about him.
It's hand to Jaws combat. The crazy battle of man versus shark took place in Delaware. The hunky dude jumped into the ocean with a noble goal. He wanted to release the beast after it chomped down on a fishing hook. Rachel Foster was enjoying a beach day with her family and recorded the encounter.
Everyone was just kind of crowded and like in shock, and right afterwards, not a lot of people were going to the water.
The shark swam away, and we're delighted to report the dude was left with all his fingers intact. And here he is. His name is Dave Williamson, and he's definitely Mr. Cool.
Turn the hook loose and release the shark back to its natural habitat.
And since we're on the subject of sharks, look who's back. Jaws the movie. It's being shown again, mostly at drive-ins, to keep people entertained during the pandemic. Jaws brought in $516,000 over
Today,
Father's Day weekend,
making
making
a
it
new
the
one.
number 2 movie in
Pandemic.
America. 45.
Famous last words. That's a lot of pressure. A lot of thought would have to go into them because it's the last thing you're leaving the world with. Some people leave their family with cute and warming messages like, I will always love you, or take care. But then there are other cases where people say goodbye to the world with much darker and disturbing messages, which I will be discussing today. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 scary last words from convicts. Now make sure you hang around to the end of the video because for every video I always do comment shoutouts, so stick around and see if your comment was featured. Who knows? Starting off this countdown, we have Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of this infamous serial killer. Jeffrey Dahmer, also known as the Milwaukee Cannibal or the Milwaukee Monster, was an American serial killer who murdered and dismembered 17 men and boys from 1878 to 1991. He would pack the victims' body parts into plastic bags and bury them behind his parents' home. Upon searching his home, police found albums full of pictures of body parts, and his place was filled with human remains. Heads were in the fridge and freezer, 2 skulls were on display, and a 57-gallon drum filled with decomposing bodies was found in his room. On top of that, there was evidence that Dahmer would eat some of his victims. On November 28, 1994, he was beaten to death by an inmate. His last words were, I don't care if I live or die. Go ahead and kill me. Moving on, number 9, we have Robert Alton Harris. Robert Alton Harris was an American kidnapper, thief, and murderer. He was convicted for the murder of 2 boys in San Diego. On April 21st, 1992, he was sentenced to death via gas chamber. But first, let's talk about his last meal. This guy went all out. He had KFC, 2 large pizzas, a bag of jelly beans, and a 6-pack of Pepsi. Now, his last words were, you can be a king or a street sweeper, but everyone dances with the Grim Reaper. This is actually a...
Sorry about this, I haven't seen it, so yeah, it's just cooking me something.
Starting off this countdown, we have Jeffrey Dahmer.
Be right back
I'm
when
sure a lot
we
of you
are
are
to
aware
The
of this
Simpsons.
infamous thief and murderer. He was convicted for the murder of 2 boys in San Diego. On April 21st, 1992, he was sentenced to death via gas chamber. But first, let's talk about his last meal. This guy went all out. He had KFC. All out. He had KFC, 2 large pizzas, a bag of jelly beans, and a 6-pack of Pepsi. Now, his last words were, you can be a king or a street sweeper, but everyone dances with the Grim Reaper. This is actually a misquote from the 1991 film Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Nonetheless, pretty creepy. Making our way down to list number 8, we have Clarence Ray Allen. Clarence Ray Allen was an American criminal who played a role in killing 3 people. In 1974, Clarence was on trial for the murder of his son's girlfriend. He had 8 witnesses testify against him. And guess what? He hired a hitman to kill those witnesses. The hitman successfully killed 3 of them and then was caught and turned Clarence in. Clarence died by lethal injection on January 17, 2006. His last words were, Hoka, hey, it's a good day to die. Thank you very much. I love you all. Goodbye. Wow. In our 7th spot, we have Aileen Wuornos. Aileen Wuornos, often referred to as the Damsel of Death, killed 7 men. She murdered them, robbed them, and then drove home in their cars. Due to this, she was named America's first female serial killer. Now, she does claim that it was all self-defense and that they tried to assault her, but her stories of the events were very inconsistent. In fact, during an interview with a filmmaker, she claims that it was self-defense, but that she couldn't stand being on death row any longer since she had already been there for 10 years, and she just wanted to die. So that's why she confessed to killing the men. On October 9th, 2002, she was sentenced to death by lethal injection. Her last words were a reference from the movie Independence Day. She said, "I'd just like to say I'm sailing with the Rock, and I'll be back like Independence Day with Jesus, June 6th. Like the movie Big Mothership and all, I'll be back." Now, people often cut this quote down and say that her last words were just, "I'll be back," but either way, it's pretty creepy and kind of like the Terminator, like old people. Moving on to number 6.
How bad we need each other.
We have Andre Chikatilo. Andre Chikatilo was a serial killer that confessed to murdering over 50 women. The murders took place from 1978 to 1990. In fact, he's been deemed one of history's sickest serial killers. On February 14, 1994, he was executed by a gunshot to the head. Just before his death, he said, "Don't blow my brains out. The Japanese want to buy them." And then he was shot and killed. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Carl Panzram. Charles, or Carl Panzram, was an American serial killer, robber, and arsonist. He claims to have murdered 22 individuals. However, only a handful of them have been proved. In his autobiography that he wrote in prison, he also states that he committed thousands of burglaries, robberies, and arsons. On September 5th, 1930, at the age of 39, Carl was killed by being hung. His last words were, "Hurry up, you Hoosier bastard. I could kill 10 men while you're fooling around." In our 4th spot, we have H.H. Holmes. Herman Webster Mudgett, otherwise known as Dr. Henry Howard Holmes, or H.H. Holmes, was an American serial killer. In 1886, he moved to Chicago and got a job as a pharmacist under the name Dr. H.H. Holmes. However, he was killing people in order to steal their properties. He also got his employees to write him down as a beneficiary so that he would get all the money after he killed them. And then he would sell the bodies of his victims to medical schools. On top of that, he owned a house that was referred to as the Murder Castle. Basically, his home had secret passages, trapdoors, soundproof rooms, gas chambers, and a kiln to cremate the bodies. Eventually, he admitted to 27 murders. However, only 9 were confirmed. Yet, officials believe he had killed closer to 200 individuals. On May 7, 1896, he was hung. His last words were, "Take your time, don't bungle it." Moving on to number 3, we have George Engel. George Engel was an anarchist and con artist. He was thought to be involved in the 1886 bombing in Haymarket Square. Although the night of the bombing, Engel was home, he was arrested and charged with conspiracy in the bombing. He was hung on November 11, 1887. Just before being hung, he said, "Hurrah for anarchy! This is the happiest moment of my life." In our 2nd spot, we have Tom Ketchum. Tom Ketchum, otherwise known as Black Jack, was a famous cowboy that later turned into an outlaw. He committed several robberies and crimes. In 1901, he was caught after a failed train robbery. Looks like they did catch him. Get it? I know, it's bad. While attempting to rob the train, he was shot in the arm and later captured by the police. On April 26, 1901, he was sentenced to death by hanging. His last words were, "I'll be in hell before you start breakfast, boys. Let her rip." Pretty scary. But that's not the worst part. Apparently, the hanging didn't go according to plan. The night before, the executioner tested the rope with a 200-pound sandbag, but then forgot to remove it. So when they went to hang Ketchum, this caused his entire head to just be decapitated. His body then fell to the floor, and apparently remained upright on its feet for quite some time. And in our number one spot, we have the Dusseldorf Vampire. Peter Kürten, also known as the Dusseldorf Vampire or the Dusseldorf Monster, was a German serial killer. He was responsible for the deaths of around 60 people. And in one case, he actually drank the blood of one of his victims. Hence why they call him the vampire. On July 2nd, 1931, Peter was sentenced to death by the guillotine. But just before he was beheaded, he said this: "Tell me, after my head is chopped off, will I still be able to hear, at least for a moment, the sound of my own blood gushing from the stump of my neck? That would be the pleasure to end all pleasures." Yeah, can you see why he's number one on the list? That is probably one of the creepiest things I have ever heard.
Will I still be able to hear, at least for a moment, the sound of my own blood gushing from the stump of my neck? That would be the pleasure to end all pleasures.
And that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below which one you found the creepiest and why. That last one, ooh, sends shivers. Karens are everywhere. I'm sure everyone at some point in time will come in contact with you, free-wearing, manager-hating women. Just if and when you do, be careful because some are scarier than others. And brace yourself for when you hear the infamous words, "Can I speak to your manager?" Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 scary Karens that need to be stopped. The Karens. I swear, more and more of them keep popping up. So, what makes someone a Karen? Well, it's said that they most likely give raisins out to kids on Halloween. They probably drive an SUV to carpool her kids to soccer games, but if the ref makes one wrong call, she'll be on that field arguing with him. And of course, most Karens have the same haircut: short, layered, dyed hair. So let's take a look at some of the scariest Karens out there. And I apologize in advance if your name is actually Karen. Starting off this countdown, we have the ketchup dilemma. I swear, Karens will complain about any and everything. This is proven by this story from the Reddit user DanDan419. This dude was a server at a restaurant and had a very unpleasant encounter with Karen, her husband, and kids. So while serving them, Karen said that they needed more ketchup. So he went back to get the rest of their food and the ketchup. But when he returned, Karen was standing in the server station helping herself to ketchup. She didn't even give him a chance to go get it for her. When he told her she wasn't allowed back there, she said, "Well, I just went back there, and I'll do it again." That was my Karen impression. Not bad. He told her off, and she requested to speak to the manager. But he was the manager. She got all defensive and later complained to the restaurant's owner. Coming in at number 9, we have the sticker. This next story was posted on Reddit by the user GotHimBoy. He was a cashier at a grocery store when he had an unexpected run-in with Karen. So during his shift, as a joke, his coworker put a 99-cent sticker on his shirt by his name badge. Upon checking Karen out, she asked him why he had a sticker on his shirt and if he thought it was funny. The guy just explained that it was a little joke. But then she went to speak with the store manager because she said it was disrespectful to behave this way at work. She went to complain to the store manager and the store owner to try and get him fired. Like, that's insane. Imagine getting fired over a sticker. It's not even an inappropriate one. It said 99 cents, not like, kick me. I swear, Karen's got nothing else better to do. Moving on to number 8, we have the flight. This next story was shared by a flight attendant. I told you, Karens are everywhere. They're up in the air, they're on the ground, they're everywhere. During a long-distance flight, Karen placed her young son on the floor to sleep. But for obvious safety reasons, the flight attendants wouldn't allow them to do that, and so they told Karen. But then she started to argue back, saying her son is tired and can sleep wherever he wants. The argument got so bad that the pilots threatened to turn the plane around unless she put her son back in his seat. Eventually, she caved in when all the passengers aboard started to turn against her as well. Moving on to number 7, we have the Walmart Karen. This one has got to be one of the creepiest Karen encounters ever. So this mom posted her story on Facebook. She said that while getting her daughter ready for school, she missed a phone call and decided to phone the number back. When she did, the woman picked up and said, "Hi, this is," we're going to say Karen. I saw you in Walmart the other day, and I'm just calling to say that I found it very rude how you cut in front of me in line. She then proceeds to tell her that she heard her give out her phone number to the cashier, and so she decided to write it down so that she could call and confront her about it later. Like, that's insane. Karens are taking it to the next level. Be careful out there. I'm just happy that she didn't figure out her address and, like, show up at her house. In our sixth spot, we have Hermit Patty. I'm sure some of you are familiar with this next story. So, back in 2018, a California woman called the police on an 8-year-old black girl for selling water bottles. Karen asked the girl if she had a permit to sell water. Since she didn't have one, she called the police and complained that she was illegally selling water without a permit. This gave her the name Hermit Patty, but she's basically a Karen. Now, this brought about a bunch of issues like racism and discrimination. As a result, Karen actually received a lot of death threats, and she went on national television to apologize for her actions. It still shows how wild Karens are. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with the return policy. I swear, one of the reasons why I never wanted to work retail is because I have to deal with customers like Karen. So, a worker at a retail store shared this next encounter. Karen came in and tried to return an expensive handbag, but it had clearly been used. When she told her that, Karen started fighting back, saying that she was calling her a liar, and then she got angry, and she grabbed the bag and started hitting the poor worker with it. As a result, her co-worker tackled Karen to the wall, and then Karen just fled the scene. Making our way down the list at number 4, we have the camp. So this next story was shared by an ex-camp counselor. Apparently, Karen had 2 of her darling children enrolled in his camp. The problem with that being is that if the kids didn't get their way at camp, then Karen would come in and complain. So their mom would come in and complain about everything. In fact, one time she came in to complain about another camper who her daughter told her would chew her food with her mouth open. Karen proceeded to say that she was disgusted by this and that he should have told the camper to eat properly or not eat at all, because apparently that's what she tells her kids in her household. Then her kids would go on to bully other campers, and if the leaders pulled them off, Karen would come in and defend her little darlings, saying that no way that they're bullies. Things got so bad that she threatened to get all the staff fired and harass them and their boss for weeks. Moving on to number 3, we have the discrimination. This next story actually makes me sick. This Karen is just so extremely disrespectful. So this story was shared by a worker at a cafe. Her co-worker had Down syndrome, but she was still a highly respected employee. One day, Karen came in and ordered a smoothie. She made her smoothie, and her co-worker handed it out to her. A minute later, Karen came back with a drink claiming she didn't want it anymore. She said there was nothing wrong with it, but basically implied that she didn't want it because her coworker with Down syndrome touched it. Oh, this makes me so mad. Like, that's disgusting and highly discriminatory behavior. Karen. In our second spot, we have the phone call. Man, oh man, Karens are getting wilder and wilder. So, this next video showcased a Karen at Starbucks. Now, I guess she was talking too loud on a phone call, so the workers told her to finish the call and hang up. But she got angry and started slamming her laptop on the table and started cussing at everyone. She then kept repeatedly saying, "You said to finish the phone call and hang up the phone call. You said to finish the phone call and hang up the phone call," over and over and over again while preparing to leave. She did this while screaming at the top of her lungs. And then she said, "I did that. I did what you said." Before leaving the Starbucks, she throws her garbage on the ground and then storms out. And in our number 1 spot, we have Kidz Bop Karen. Back in 2019, this next Karen became an overnight sensation when a video of her was uploaded online. In the middle of New York traffic, Karen forced her head into another vehicle. She starts making scary faces at the woman recording and curses out her and her Lyft driver for cutting her off. It was a pretty scary encounter. In fact, people have compared her face popping into the car to that of Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Here's Karen! Now, she was given the name Kidz Bop Karen because over the personal argument, the victim reminded her that her kids are in the car beside her and that they need to hear her cursing. She replied with, "They can't hear me because they're listening to Kids Bop." And that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below if you have any Karen horror stories of
स्लेंडरमैन का नाम तो आप सबने सुना होगा.
Entertaining a boy I'm not into because I'm bored and want attention. Facts. Yes, facts.
Girl, you dummy! Stop! Oh!
What happened?
I'm bored and want attention. Facts. Yes, facts.
Girl, you dummy! Stop! Oh! Girl, you dumbo! Don't you know those Halloween stores are designed to freak you out?
I've been there before. I've tried that and it just wouldn't work. But then when you mess with it, oh, look at the fit. She jumped quick. Gosh dang it. And that demon almost got her too. This close, this close. Girl, you got saved by the skin of your butt. Man, barely. When he asked to go out, yeah, he just flipped on you. I'm sorry. But you already know you need to get that out of you. Yes, today we're taking a look at TikToks that'll make your heart stop. Part 4. Please, please go ahead, comment down below your favorite holiday. Is it Halloween? Is it Christmas? Hanukkah? Your birthday? Let me know. And go ahead, give this video a like. It's going to help the video do a lot better, and it's going to show your support for the channel. Let's go. But hey, let's go ahead and check out another one. Come on! Oh, heck no. So,
Ooh, dang, doggo! Are you kidding me? That dog done.
ooh. I don't know if that got you guys or if it was my screen that got you guys. Jeez, you're kidding me. That dog came out of nowhere. What's wrong with you? God, man. Look at that. He popped up. He popped up like I just said. You want to go for a walk? He's like, "Rawr." Man, I'm done. I'm not getting a dog. Because if the power goes out, the dog's going to be freaking me out. Ridiculous, man. Moving on. Dang. Oh, heck no. Girl, are you kidding me? Girl, you look like you belong in a zombie apocalypse, and you sound like you belong in a zoo. Stop making monkey noises. Stop, just animal noises. Guys, if she comes up knocking on my door, trying to trick or treat for Halloween, I'm breaking out the Glock. Or I'm breaking out like the Nerf gun. The little Nerf blaster, yeah, and then I'll just boom, pop her right in the neck. That way she can't make those monkey noises anymore. Dang, girl, you got the worst acne I've ever seen in my life. Come on, this is just ridiculous. It's real ridiculous. This girl got wrinkles. She got varicose veins on her face. She got crow's feet. Ew. Girl, you're looking like you got alligator skin. You got more cracks than a sidewalk. That was alright. You got more cracks in your skin than You need some lotion. How about that? Alright.
The Asian hornets have just arrived in the United States, and these things are deadly. Be careful when you go outside, because there's already some of them in that backyard.
Oh, you dang hornet! Oh, jeez! Those things. Please don't tell me that thing is really that large. That's somebody's hand right there. You're telling me a hornet is like that big? Oh no, boy! No. That's scary. Look, we need to spray them things with some super raid. I mean something. Gosh, that's disgusting. Asian hornets. I thought most things in Asia were small, or smaller, you know. And Asian hornets